What compels someone in this day and age to actually keep a diary? And for that matter, record one on their phone and mobile devices? Well, it started because I wanted to make sure that during this process, my kids had something to reference. I mean, a diary is a means of keeping track of what happens in one's busy life. My life is absolutely busy, and I get to document the process, the successes and definitely the failures, because that's where my lessons have been. My lessons have been in how to fail and still move forward. Fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently, and more importantly, make sure that people know that one failure does not your career make. We also get to celebrate the successes, and that's one of the things that I like documenting. I want to document the wins, some of the ones that are hard fought, the ones that take forever, the ones you hope that happened that took too long, the ones that just didn't happen in the time frame that you had hoped. But these are the reasons we work so hard. At the end of the day, it's $1 to begin to find out, if this is something that fits for you. You get the opportunity to see the inside of what's going on as we continue on our journey to get to the 1,000 units and the 1,000,000 square feet and finish the larger transactions you don't often get to hear about until they're done. You don't often see what goes on behind the scenes and the stress and the mess, and then more importantly, the success that is developed over time through successive mistakes. Howdy peoples, how are you guys doing? Glad that you are here for another Q&A with Jay. Yeah, right? Sounded like a cheerleader. Anyway, we have a guest on the show today. We have a fly in the studio. So if you see me doing this number, it's because there's a fly. So just keep that in mind. For those of you that are here for the first time, welcome. If you're here for the, I don't know, what is this, episode 30, 40, 50, who knows? The point is, I'm glad that you're back. Hopefully you've got some questions. We'll do our best to answer them. I do my best to answer all the questions. And those of you who are here live, you're probably going to get an opportunity to actually ask a number of questions today. So feel free to start filling up the chat box because we we will be able to get those answered. We also have something special that I want to share with you guys that nobody's seen yet. And as you guys know, we tend to give you that show up live, an opportunity here to see interesting things. So we'll definitely run that by you because, we're always trying something new. That's kind of like how we roll as things continue to go on. Many of you know, maybe you don't. We are in the process of doing our multifamily, meaning we are looking at finding those individuals who want to go out there and make multifamily part of their real estate portfolio. So right now we're going through a video series or a webinar series that many of you probably already have access to, that if you're watching here. And if you don't, you probably want to go get involved. It's not too late to get started. You want to go to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. When you get there, you'll be able to go ahead and get registered. You'll be able to see the replays that are there. They should also be present. And I'm trying to pull it up so I can show it to you. Multifamily. Yes, I'm spelling it correctly. And I'm waiting for the people behind the camera to catch up and try their computer.
Reading this is a writable device.
Format it.
It's not even it's not showing up. It's saying that it's a keyboard.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Awesome.
I'll go to this utility and see if it's on.
It is? Okay, so it's working for you. For whatever reason, Cashflow Diary, did I spell it right? Anyway, when you go there, you'll be able to, let me try Chrome. That's it. Watch it work right now. Cashflowdiary.com. Hey, this is always the fun of live. TC. Otherwise, this would be edited later. But oh well, who needs editing when we have you guys watching? So if you go to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily, you should be able to participate. Make sure that you put your name and email in the box. You'll get access to the recording so that you can participate in the next episodes that are coming up. Interesting. And you're sure that's working there, Scott?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Alrighty then. Scott says it's working, so therefore it's working. Anyway, go to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. You should be able to go ahead and participate there. And for those of you who are wondering where we are in this process, we're going to be soon tackling things like due diligence. And I like working with, small groups of people on a concentrated, focused effort for a short period of time. And that, in this particular case, we're going to be working on, like I said, multifamily. And I'm looking for those individuals who want to go through that process with me in a live format. I don't get to do this all the time, and I'm sure you guys already figured that out. From the last time, I've never been able to repeat any of them. So if you even have an inkling that this is something that you want to do, you want to make sure that you get there. Anyway, with all of that good stuff being said, what I do want to do is make sure that you guys are, where is it? There it is. Boom. You also are aware that the podcast has now gone to Mondays as well as Thursdays. So cashflowdiarypodcast.com. And if you haven't downloaded one, go download a whole lot more. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through your submitted questions as you see here. And let me see if I can't make that a little bit bigger for you guys, so it'll be easier for you to see, especially those of you on a mobile device. Yep, there we go. So Sep sends in the question, why am I not surprised? We should go back and see how many questions this guy has sent in, but we should also ask him just how much work and how many things that he's actually been able to accomplish from being here so consistently, and I think that's interesting to me. Let's see, I just finished reading your Investing Made Easier Multifamily Properties ebook. Thank you. And I got a lot of great information out of it. That's awesome to hear. One of the ninja secrets that I mentioned was to add billboards onto our properties for paid third-party advertising, or to use it to advertise property we own. Yes, that's a brilliant idea, especially the latter for filling up vacancies. Sure. How do we go about getting the billboard installed onto our properties? Are there any particular companies that you can recommend? Well, the first issue is zoning, period. Let's start there. If you've got zoning and that's the first thing, you clear that hurdle. The question is who's going to pay for the billboard? If it's going to be something, and there could be a case made for you to, foot that bill yourself just because since it's there, that's going to be the first piece. I don't have a particular company in mind per se, but I do know that you're going to want to seek out that commercial individuals who handle those things to help make that work. The main thing though, the place I have gotten stopped nearly every time has been on zoning. And as the zoning continues to happen in that sense, we've always and consistently had trouble with making those things happen. So hopefully that's not something that, holds you up, because I definitely would love for you to be able to take advantage of all the good ideas that we come up with. Lord knows we have no shortage of them. So let's see what else we've got here. Matthew is sending in a question regarding the wholesale video course. And if you don't know about that, you can go to cashflowdiary.com/workshop. Let's see, I should be able to find that. cashflowdiary.com/workshop. And yes, for those of you who are wondering, yes, I know that I'm having trouble with the internet. That's what's going on over here. I'm just having trouble with the internet in general. That's interesting. Don't know what to do about that. Huh? Yeah, that works too. Yeah, I get it. I get that they work. For some reason, I don't get the privilege of using them or showing them at this particular moment. So you can go to cashflowdiary.com/workshop. And let's see, where do I get a contract to bring to a seller? Question one. What would happen if the seller and Tiffany decided on one of the options and she wasn't able to find a lender? Got it. So, Matthew, a couple of things. First of all, question one. For those of you who are part of the wholesaling course, you probably already know the answer. We actually provide you the documentation inside the quick offer kit so that you don't have to go find the contract. You take the documentation that's there, you go have it reviewed by your local attorney, real estate attorney, to be able to make those things happen for you, and you have the way to go. And then secondly, says what would happen if the seller decided on one of the options and she wasn't able to find the lender. It's Tiffany, or if you're a wholesaler, you're not trying to find the lender. That's not your gig. That is the gig of the end buyer, the end seller. So you're not supposed to find a lender. That's not your role. Your person is to go find the persons to put them together. If you take on the responsibility of finding the lender, that helps make it easier for your buyers to probably commit to, yes, I do want that building from you. So just think about that as you go through the process so that you have the ability to continue to add more buyers to your list and definitely work with more people, because the more people you can work with, the more likely you are to sell that particular deal. Now, as I've said before, and before I continue much further and to give you guys some time, I've got something special that I just want to play for you. It's going to take a couple of minutes, so that hopefully you are paying attention. So here's what I want. I'm going to show this to you, and then I just want you to continue to tell me what you think. Tell me if you like it, if you hate it, what you like about it. I know, do me a favor this time. I answer your questions. This is you giving me some of your feedback, because I want to hear what you're thinking when it comes to watching this information. You ready? Here we go. Messy pile! That was fun. Okay. Hi. Okay, can I go now? I gotta go for a minute. Just a minute, please. All right, one second. Hi, guys. Well, as you can see, my day is filled with all kinds of things. I've got kids, I've got soccer, I've got time. Not really soccer, but you get my point. When it comes to children, you can't always predict your schedule, and that's one of the greatest benefits of being a real estate investor. Here's the thing. I wasn't born that way. I had to learn it. And now what I want to do is that I want to take a small moment and show you how to do the same thing. I created a webinar that'll show you how you can go out there, still have your family, and more or less have your cake and eat it too. Because you'd want both of them, right? At the end of the day, here's what I want you to do.
Go over to cashflowdiary.com/workshop so that you can be introduced to a webinar that I created to show you how to get started in real estate today using none of your own money or credit. We started with a credit score of 398. No money. I couldn't walk and talk. My wife couldn't eat or drink. Here's the point. You can do it too, even if you have kids. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to
cashflowdiary.com/workshop.
Oh, okay. Now, I just want to know. See, we're out there, we're trying to get more people to understand and get in front of the information. So you probably, do we have the share buttons on the screen? No? Okay. So what I want to do is just, we're coming up with new and creative ways to get in front of more people. That is a commercial that we've shot. We've shot a number of them. And I love my kids. It's just fun. They got to participate. They had fun doing it. That's for sure. Just tell me what you think. Well, that's really what I want to know. Is that something that's going to make you click or at least make you watch long enough? Because that's really what we can care about. So, anyway, I saw some questions in the chat box and I want to make sure that we get them. Let's see, go scroll, okay, whoa. Okay, Jay, how do we offer multifamily tenants free Wi-Fi or cable? Okay, free Wi-Fi is different than cable. So free Wi-Fi, all you got to do is actually go in and provide the Wi-Fi. So, you get a very nice Wi-Fi router, very nice, high capacity, you pay for it, and what you do is you're going to put that in the ceiling strategically across your building. Simple as that. Just give them access to be able to do that. As far as free cable, that depending on the size of the building, you may need to actually contact, I should say. And I don't know if you mean cable or dish, but I assume you just mean television. So you can, Dish Network would be one place to do it, as well as the cable company. And they usually have a representative that is designed or organized themselves in such a way to help make those types of things happen. So that's just a phone call. It's not overly complicated. What else do we have? It says, when 3 syndicators are involved with purchasing 100+ unit properties, how would you suggest dividing up the tasks per partner? What are they good at? I don't know. Even if they share the same investor identity, it still doesn't mean they have the same skill set. We all may want the same thing in terms of cash flow and time horizon, etc. But one of you is good at actually talking and negotiating contracts. That doesn't mean that your investor identities are different. Your skill sets are completely, something separate from your investor identity. So I will say, here's what I will say. My internet is not working. Do you think I could could I reboot and then not mess up anything? Because if I reboot and come back, do you think it would work? Because if so, then I'll try that because I want to show them these websites that we use. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take a risk, guys, here, and reboot my machine, and hopefully that will fix all of the issues here because I was previously connected to a different network and etc. So I'm gonna come back to that and those resources. Let me look at the next question. It says, Lorena. Hello, Jay. I found 24 units, multifamily with 0% occupancy. Like that so far. The place looks perfect for Halloween. They usually do at the beginning. How we handle the cash flow since it may take about a year to fix and fill out the place. That's correct. How much I need to syndicate in order for the place to fill out. The asking price is $75,000, Memphis, Tennessee. That's a good question, Lorena. I don't know the exact zip code of that, nor the condition of the property. So that's going to depend, but that's part of what you're thinking correctly. The part of this play, this is a forced appreciation play, possibly a found appreciation play, and you need time to build it, and you need to know what that big budget's going to be. On those 24 units, I'm going to say you're going to be somewhere, and I'm just guessing, and I'm totally ballparking right now. I'm guessing your all-in price, depending on zip code, is going to start at $13,000 to $15,000 a door. So including purchase price, $13,000 to $15,000 a door, and it's only going to go up as you continue to go from Walmart to Target to Nordstrom, etc. So that would be a good place to start. But again, you guys are beginning to understand why I'm getting excited about the idea of doing a mastermind group with a number of you, those of you that are brave enough to take it on, is so that we can go through this. And instead of it just being a question, what if we went through this week after week and we were actually able to get that deal done and you got to watch that process happen, or better yet, you were the one that process happened for. So those are the things that I get excited about when we do mastermind groups. So that's why I want to make sure that you guys know about them. Look at that. Yay. So that was cashflowdiary.com/workshop. And then the other one was the multifamily. So let me just show you what that looks like here. Multifamily. Boom. Okay, why did that not work? That worked, but this, oh, there it goes. So cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. That way you can get in on it if you're not already. But Sep, what I wanted to share with you is that when you're trying to determine other people's strengths, especially as you don't know, one of the things that I do with a lot of our private coaching clients, and some of those at the highest levels, I have them take personality and profile tests. One of them is this one right here. It's Wealth Dynamics, Roger Hamilton's test. And what it will help you to understand is how you know what your strengths are. For example, and again, I'm not here to teach his information, but I'm just telling you how we use it. Is basically we take this profile. As you take the test, you're assigned one of these profiles, and when you know that you're this one, you know that to fill out and round out your team, you need people with the skill sets over here. For example, I am naturally, when I take this test, I'm a star. That's what it says. Okay, yes, I'm a star, superstar. No, I'm just kidding. And the stars, if they want to have a business, they need to find individuals who are mechanics, accumulators, traders, lords, all those other personality types. And that's just how we built our team. In fact, many of the people who are on the other side of the camera, they are mechanics. That's one of the greatest needs that I have on the real estate side of the business, as well as on the education and marketing side, because those mechanics are there to build the systems that I don't think about because all I'm ready to do is promote and talk about and sell stuff. And yay, isn't it all great? But my point is this could be something you may want to have all of your team go through so that they know. Another one that we use is the Kolbe. Did that? Oh, okay. I'm just making sure. Another one that we use is also Kolbe. And again, it's another way of figuring out how people attack problems, because that becomes very, very key if you're going to be working together. And especially if it's 3 promoters, how do they attack problems? You know, you don't know who's the best at implementation, who's the best at strategic thinking. You just don't have a clue, but you need to find this information out. So these are just 2 of the profiles that we tend to use so that I can find out, you know, who's good at what, especially if I'm going to be coaching you through a process and helping you make those things happen. The last one is Strengths Finder. Did I do that right? Yep. So is the Clifton Strengths Finder. And what I'm concerned about is, what are people strong in? I don't know. When I don't know, I'm going to go find out. So there's a test here. It's a Strengths Finder. So it's also, they have an entrepreneurial version where you can find out someone's entrepreneurial strengths, as you can see here. So you've got the Clifton as well as the Entrepreneurial Strengths Finder. When you know all of these things about your team, you can make sure that you don't have too much overlap or duplication. And that's something that's highly important to me. And that I've gone great lengths to find out and make sure that I can recognize these individuals when I see them, so that I know that they have complementary skill sets. One of the greatest things that I think keeps us working smoothly is the fact that my CFO is almost exactly opposite me. Almost exactly opposite. And if we were the same, there would be a big problem. Let's just put it that way. And because we're opposite, yeah, occasionally we clash, but whatever we clash about gets better. Same thing with all of my operations individuals, same thing with the graphics individuals, same thing with the people who do the writing. We're all different and strategic, and that's why it works the way it works. You can't just haphazardly put people together and hope that it's all going to, well, work out per se. I've lost the keynote. So I got to bring that up. All right. So 10:21. Let me see. Where are we at now? Okay. What are the strengths and weaknesses of doing a syndication fund versus doing a syndication personalized for each property? Yeah, no. I get there. The whether you're doing a fund or an individual property, it's going to be the same conversation, because it's the same conversation. That part doesn't change so much, but there's increased operational expenses, which each time you do the paperwork for syndication. So the question is it worth it or not? It's the question, if you've got an internal system that can help you actually manage all of the pieces, then maybe it makes sense. Is the building large enough? If the building is large enough, it may require its own. If you're trying to do a company that has a success of many small buildings, that may make more sense. You are going to have to run revenue projections, cost benefit analyses, work with your CFO to figure out what's the better way to go. At the end of the day, it's going to come down to operational expenses. Let me see. All right, let me get the view back here. Hide that. Boom, boom. Matthew's question is done. We're at Daryl. Oh, Kyle, Jay, the multifamily webinar was great yesterday. Where did you learn about all those personality tests and which ones are most relevant? They all divulge something completely different. So there isn't one that's more relevant than the other. The question is what information are you looking for? There's actually one more test that I'm considering implementing. It's I don't know, it's not Myers-Briggs. What is DISC called? Who's that? DISC. It's just called DISC? Oh, okay, cool. So we haven't done that one yet. But we all know that I'm a D. So there's no need for me to know but which one it is. But at the end of the day, we need to know what the other people are on the team as well. Again, this is one of the reasons why you continually consume books and continually grow. Like I said, you will not out-earn your personal growth, and you've got to keep doing that in order to get to the point to where you know how to work with people who are completely opposite you. Trust me on that one. All right, Daryl's got a question. You're struggling with a couple of things. Okay, well, at least you haven't quit, so that's good. Knowing that most or all capital in a multifamily deal will come from IRAs, and also knowing that IRAs cannot use depreciation, but a cash investor can, how would you go about structuring the deal if most or all of the funds come from IRAs? Would you just put them in Q3 and you become the owner of the property? What if some people want part of the equity in Q1? Okay, got it. Let me go over here and explain. Okay, so what Daryl's referring to, 1, 2, 3, is a topic that I talk about frequently, and we'll definitely be talking about this a lot in the multifamily course. Not necessarily raising private capital, but how deal structuring works with the profit analysis quadrant, which I go over in my cash flow diary, 10 Steps to Creating Wealth in Any Economy. That is the book. Now, the 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, and 4, appreciation, depreciation, amortization, and cash flow, all coexist simultaneously inside every deal. What Daryl's referring to is that I've said many times, and I say again, retirement plans or qualified accounts typically are horrible at using depreciation well. That doesn't mean they have no value. It just sits there. So the depreciation that is earned, so in this particular case, depreciation could be earned in years 1 through year 7, and I'm just saying it's a 7-year hold in this particular case. And then at the end of 7 years, what you're looking to do is then you're looking to sell the property here, right? So you've accumulated depreciation throughout this entire time. So it's been accumulating this entire time. So what technically happens is that your retirement plan during this process has to file tax returns. And that depreciation just sits over on a bucket. And what ends up happening is that when you go to sell, if we have a capital gain, again, it's not going to be used for anything in particular because all of that proceeds is going back into the retirement plan, but that depreciation just kind of sits there unless you happen to create a taxable event. There comes a point at which you can use it, but like I said, this is why it's not, that's why I don't like try it. Just because Don't let this mean that you don't put people in quadrants 1, 2, or 4. Because if that's what they need, if they need the growth, at least they're getting the tax deferral on your appreciation sections, right? Remember, there's 5 different types. And if you're going to get the deferral on that, that's often a greater benefit than losing, quote unquote, the benefit of the depreciation. Plus, just because there is depreciation here, that doesn't mean you can still have the retirement plans participate 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, and 4. But necessarily using a special purpose LLC, you'll be able to assign an unequal amount of the depreciation to someone else who may not be using a retirement plan in exchange for relinquishing some part of another benefit. Blah. That's a long way of saying I'm looking forward to continuing the multifamily piece, because this is key, not just for raising capital, but understanding deal structure and when the situation and how to match a person to a particular situation and where that needs to be so you can describe it properly. Anyway, let me see. And if raising capital in a private placement, which you really want to do, all owners, as I understand, share the same ownership and benefits. Can investors loan money to a PPM, or can investors only buy units? The answer is yes. Everything's negotiable. All that's there. I may be overthinking all of this. You probably are. You frequently do, if I remember correctly. However, at the end of the day, the question is what are you trying to do? Let's not aim for, hey, but what you Daryl, specifically, as I've known you, you try to think about all the possible scenarios. The only scenario that matters is the one that's going to actually solve the problem in front of us today. We don't need to understand all of the other scenarios until, well, we need to understand them. We won't know that until we're in the middle of something. So just keep that in mind as we go through. Let's see. Do we have any questions in the chat room? No? Okay. Omira? Is that how you say it? Okay. Omira, I met you at New View. Oh, in Orlando. Wow. You're sending in questions already. That was just this past weekend. So for those of you who didn't know, I was in Sacramento and then I was in Orlando. And I guess this is the person I met there. And as I mentioned, I am under contract my first multifamily property. I'm in the process of raising private money to purchase the property, as I don't have any money or credit to do so. My challenge at the moment right now is finding private money. Wow. I wonder if anyone in the chat room already knows the answer I'm about to say. I'm just laughing. So here's what you're going to do. Go over to YouTube, like right here. So if you can go to YouTube, am I spelling it right? YouTube.com. You're going to go to YouTube.com, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in the search box right here, how to raise private capital. And then you're going to see a picture that looks a little bit like me. And you're going to click on that. And when you click on that, you have 97 minutes of information on how to raise private capital. And then if you think you are ready to take it on and join us inside the course, which I hope you are, you'll be able to do so by clicking this link right here, and it'll take you to this website where you're able to go ahead and get registered for the course so that you can get started and be part of our we have closed groups where we talk about how much capital people are raising and what's going on, and you can join that conversation as well. So that you have the ability to go out there and we can help you in a more intense or close basis. So hopefully that helps. Let's see. What's this? Jeff, I went through a divorce that pretty much wiped me out financially, have had problems with the IRS, living off military retirement, which has been my saving grace. Please teach me how to replicate what you have done so that I can pay it forward. Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you for your service, Jeff. Not enough military people hear those words. At least if you haven't heard it recently, you're hearing it from me, and you can hit rewind and play it as many times as you like, because I am eternally grateful. Because without you having served, I couldn't do what I do, period. Someone's got to protect the property rights, and you did that. Thank you. Maybe the easiest way for you to get started is right here. Maybe that could be the easiest way for you to get started. Cash flow diary. 10 steps to creating wealth in any, keywords, any economy. That could work out quite well for you so that you can begin to get an overview of everything that our courses break down and what it is that we're doing. If you feel like you're a little bit more advanced and you're ready to make some stuff happen, feel free to join us. Like I said, we're in the process of doing the live group, or at least the live webinars, which typically for us lead to a live mastermind group of multifamily participants. And again, many people have participated with us live, and when they do, they get what I like to think of as good results. Some of them call them life-changing. You can use whatever word you'd like. And at the end of the day, what I want to do is just provide that to you in any way that I can. So hopefully that helps. Again, if you are live, I think we're getting down to 2 or 3 questions left. Feel free to start typing. Access to capital and the lack of real estate knowledge that prevents me from pulling the trigger. Well, Darius, you know what to do about access to capital. I just showed you that. Learning to access the resources of others is paramount for every investor. However, it's not a lack of real estate knowledge that's preventing you from pulling the trigger. I think you specifically know that you have to buy a piece of real estate. There are tons of people that can help you buy a piece of real estate. I think you're more accurately is you don't feel confident enough, which is usually rooted in some sort of fear that you can actually make these things happen. Just because you read or know a lot doesn't mean that you're actually going to take action. I know a lot of people who have access to capital, who know what to do and still don't do it. Be wary of the fear monster, okay? Be wary of the fear monster. Eric, how to find and lock up a deal that is not on the MLS. Excellent, Eric. Great idea, great question. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to look for properties, not problems. So many people always, what did I say? Oh, you're going to look for problems, not property. See, totally messed that up. They're like, what? That's not what you're supposed to say. See, they know me so well. They're like, no, that's wrong. That's backwards. However, what I would strongly suggest you do is go to cashflowdiary.com/workshop. And I've just gone to the website to give you a clue of what it looks like. So that way we can get this thing done and started for you. Because that's how I got started, is finding properties that were not on the MLS that someone else could buy, and doing the best to connect the buyer and the seller together and making that happen. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to do that very thing, that same thing, by going to the webinar. And I'm going to show you in 60 minutes how to do that for yourself. And then you can, if you want, join us inside the course too, and we'll be able to help you more specifically. I know that we have some people, namely, I think it's Jackson and Haya, who have recently been able to get a check, and I love it. Now, here's what I will say. I make no claims about you being able to earn any money. However, I will say this. They together earned $8,000 on their first deal. I'm still upset. Personally, I'm upset. It took me forever to get to $8,000 on one deal, but I'm still excited for them at the same time. So, congratulations to them. They were using this information with lots of dogged, determined perseverance to make that happen, and they've been participating, keywords, participating in the group. You can't just buy a course and hope that, ooh, I bought the course, now the course is going to work for me. No, the course is going to give you the path to follow. You still have to walk. And they walked, and therefore they got a check, which is really, really awesome. I like that. All right, so Gordon wants to get paying tenants for my so-called cash-flowing cheap houses. Yeah, Gordon, that's going to help you. You're going to need to learn better property management interviewing skills. And if you are that property manager, you're going to have to hold yourself to higher standards. And now you understand you can't fill your building with just anyone. And yeah, you're like, well, at least I got somebody to fill out the application. That's not good enough. You've got to get the right somebody. One of the things you may want to do, Gordon, is to go over to learninvestingnow.com, learninvestingnow.com. I think I spelled it correctly. Nope. Learninvestingnow.com. Boom. Okay, so when now that if you spell it correctly, what ends up happening is that the site comes up so that you have Learn Investing Now. And one of the things that you'll get there is a due diligence checklist, which will cover some, not all, some of the important questions that you can begin to ask for in terms of property management statements, and which will teach you, if you don't have these things, these are probably things that you need to know. For many people who have participated in any of our courses before, we have a bonus video. It's a market analysis video, and I don't think enough people actually watch that. Let me see if I can find it real fast. Training. Yeah. So this bonus video, so here's the back end. Many of you haven't, you're like, ooh, what's that? Where did it go? Market analysis. So this market analysis video is about, it's only an hour long, but it's chock full of information that will help you understand how to attack a marketplace, ask the right questions of your team members so that you can begin to move in that correct direction. And remember earlier, we were talking about how to find the documentation. It's called our quick offer kit. It's right there. So you have access to that, the quick offer kit. And many of you, you've seen this before. You've just seen all these details. Some of you, you may have never seen what the diary looks like in and of itself, but here it's inside. Again, as you can see, we just got all the courses sitting there waiting for you to take advantage of, so that you have the ability to continually learn as I go through, well, more stuff. As you can see, there's tons of entries, and in fact, I just recorded some more from today's events and uploaded those. So we're always adding more. We're always doing more to make sure that you have access to as much possible information and knowledge that can help you move yourself forward. So for those of you who are live, let's see what we've got. Jay, do you ever implement equity stripping on your properties? Got it. It's possible. Some of you are wondering, what is equity stripping, right? I know. You're like, it's Sep. He's got all these terms. He knows all these words. So I can't be like Sep. Yes, you can. It just takes time. It's one day at a time. And let me first explain what that looks like. Let me see if I can get to come live. If I can get this to come live. There we go. Boom. So now you can see. So if we're talking about the concept of equity stripping here, I love it when the markers work. Yes, stripping. What SEP is saying is, first of all, let's define what equity is, right? You may not know what that is. So let's call the value of the building. And I'm going to use, in preparation for you multifamily people, I'm going to use what you need to get used to is multiple commas and lots of zeros. So we're going to say that the building is worth $2 million. That's what we're just going to say. We're just totally making that up, right? But we're going to say that in this particular case, we have a loan principal balance amount of, and I'm going to keep the math simple, $1 million. So what ends up happening is you take the value minus what's owed, so the worth minus the debts. This is a balance sheet equation, right? And then in this particular case, we're going to call that equity. And in this particular case, that's $1 million. Okay? What SEP is asking is, there's a concept out there where what you will do occasionally is take the equity out of that particular building, still maintain its ownership, and then put that equity somewhere else, which will hopefully be a higher performing asset. Now, in order to even know if this makes sense, the first thing you must understand is more financial terms. Yay! More math. Right. You got to first understand what ROE is, and then you've got to understand how that compares to the new ROI that you are currently generating. You're like, oh gosh, this is a lot of information. You're absolutely right, because this is not something you're going to typically tackle on your first go round. However, most long-term buy and hold investors have an underperforming ROE, and they need to reposition that equity for a greater ROI. Most of them do. And at the end of the day, you've got to learn how to do the math in both of these equations so that you have the ability to go out there and know when is it time to reposition that equity so that you can go use it and leverage it for something bigger, better, and again. Okay, where are we? I don't have any customers, buyers, and I'm hesitant to write the offer. Any suggestions? Curtis, yes, I got plenty of suggestions. Because I know you're listening to the wholesale course. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate your courage. Whether you have a customer or buyer or not, I want you to think about this. Let me see. You're like, what is Jay doing? I'm sure they're wondering. They're wondering behind because they can see what I'm typing and they're just like, that makes no sense. Frosted. Now watch this. What? You don't like cereal? I'm just saying. I like cereal. I haven't eaten it in a while, but I like cereal. So, ew, what's that? Anyway, here's my point. Oh, there you go. Fruit Loops. It's awesome. All right. I don't know if you like cereal, Curtis, but here's what I'm going to say. In order to eat a bowl of cereal, you need, well, a bowl, a spoon, cereal, and milk. You can't have a bowl of cereal without any of those components. You need all 4 of those components to make this thing work, right? So I'm just going to pretend that you have a bowl and a spoon. However, if you don't have cereal and milk, you still won't eat, right? So I've given you the bowl. The bowl is the container or the context, if you will, for this information. The spoon is the actual information that you've gained access to, which gives you access to the ability to eat. Now you need to fill that bowl and that spoon and put it to use. I don't really care which one you get first, the chicken or the egg, if you will, the cereal or the milk. Think about it though. When you pour a bowl of cereal, do you put in milk first or do you put in cereal first? Which do you do? The point is, you got to still do both. So I typically say you want to find houses for buyers, not buyers for houses. However, if the house presents itself first, get it. Get the house and then work like mad to go find the buyers. What are you going to do? You're going to hold cash flow games. If you haven't held the cash flow game, here's a good time to put 2 on your calendar right now so that you can begin to attract those buyers and build that list. If you haven't been doing that work, that's part of the reason you're feeling this anxiety or hesitation. So hopefully, if you go out there and make that happen, you'll be eating a good bowl of cereal in no time. All right. Now, let's see. Congrats, Jackson and Hyatt. Yep, absolutely. What is the best way to raise money and get people to believe in you? Have trouble feeling confident and am recovering from a brain injury. Did I read that right? Wow. Okay. Thank you for watching. A brain injury. I can't help with that part. As far as the quote unquote best way, all right. So I don't know if that means you're looking for the silver bullet approach, because there isn't one, right? Hopefully not. But at the end of the day, what you're going to do is you're going to follow the same system that I've taught and I teach inside our Raising Private Capital video course. Since it's up, I'll just click in it real fast. As you can see here, we've got a number of modules, in fact, 12 modules. And inside each module, you end up getting well, more information than you probably want, but enough to get the job done. So in each module, you get multiple lessons, and then you can download it on MP3 as well as videos. And we also have workbooks so that you can go out there and learn to raise capital. From the first, you've got to market for the investor, then you got to have the conversation, and you got to have the deal and know how to use the profit analysis quadrant properly to make it happen. It's the simplest way that I know. Period. It's the simplest way that I know, because there are only 2 things you need to prove: competency and character. And this system will help you prove both of those if you implement it correctly. So that's the best way I know. It's kind of the only way that I know because it's what I did. So hopefully that helps. If you're live, keep writing in some questions. With the time that we have left, you live people are getting it done today. With your cash flow games, what worked best to assist your local buyers with out-of-state due diligence? What I've typically done, Greg, in the past is I just give them the phone numbers of the people. You know, you give them a list of the providers that they can avail themselves of. That's it. And if they want to pursue whatever due diligence they need to pursue, they usually run with it from there. Usually the buyer, you know, especially if you provide a list, they know how to do all the things that they need to do and get that done. Because usually that's their main concern is who am I going to call and how on earth am I ever going to create the time to find that person? Well, here's a list. Now you got to do is pick up the phone and make that happen. So that worked very, very well for me. So Curtis, you are quite welcome. I'm glad that you are out there making things happen. I know that you can eat your bowl of cereal soon. So did anybody comment about the commercial? They did? Okay, I just missed it. They loved it. So cute, nice. They're laughing, hilarious. Your kids are adorable. Thank you, Sandra. Do they have cashflowdiary.com t-shirts? You know, Rhonda, that's interesting. I'll give you a hint. You probably want to become a Cashflow Diary Founders member. Yep, I have an idea, and a little birdie has told me that some of those people who are members will likely get a gift during the gift giving season. Yeah, that's soon, huh? Anyway, Sandra is cute. I'd watch it, caught my eye. So the message is chaos is not an excuse. Take action. That's right. You see my house. Even if you have kids, it's so true. So, yeah, Sandy, excellent idea indeed. Lorena, mastermind group. I have no idea. We have the group. How do I join in? Excellent, Lorena. You can start there. What Sandy said, we will. Yeah, you trust me, guys. We're doing our best to get the information out there and around. In fact, we're just getting better at it. What's up? What's that? Hiya. Hiya. Congratulations again. So she's been spending money. That's why we haven't seen her in a while, I guess. That happens. People get money, and then they're like, I'm on top of this thing. I got it. So Hiya, Jackson, if you are watching, it's time for you guys to do a new deal. It's been at least a week. All right? So keep that in mind. So with that being said, let me see. We've covered all the questions. All the questions have been submitted. For those of you who don't know already, you want to make sure tomorrow 4 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to go through, let me see, do I have a copy of the book somewhere? No. Let me see. It is on the keynote. Let me find the keynote. Good stuff, Scott. Scott's earning his keep today. Great, Scott. Awesome. So as you guys can see here, so I'm just pulling up the presentation that we were using yesterday. You can watch the replay, but at the same time, and again, as you saw before, you've seen some of these pictures. Many of you who have been following me around a number of years have seen me flip through these pictures more than once, okay? And these are some of the more recent developments. Those of you ever wondering what Belize and what we're doing in Belize looks like, and you want to know more about it, now you have some photos going. See, I told you it was Nordstrom. See, this boy, I may start in Walmart. That doesn't mean I have to stay there. That's all I'm saying. Now, with that being said, there's 12 steps inside the whole multifamily thing. So tomorrow we're going to be going over 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then on Friday, we're going to go 9, 10, 11, and 12. And some of you will get the opportunity to work with me on an extended basis in a close group sessions for some time so that we can help you, take down some multifamily buildings. So that's what we're going to be talking about. What's this? What do I think of Austin? Is it too late? Wow. Sandra, it's never too late. The question is what are the rules of the game? So what game do you have to play? I don't care whether the market's going up, down, sideways. The question is what game do you want to play? First of all, I was in, where was I? San Antonio. And I have another customer or client in Austin. She's in our highest level program. So, and I'm excited about her because it's been 12 weeks. She's participating now in a 100+ unit building already. And she just wrote her offer on a 8-unit building. We submitted it at the beginning of this week and they countered. I love it when they counter because that means they're on the hook and we can probably figure out a deal. So I have a strong suspicion we're going to be able to get her into an 8-unit building in Texas, and she's going to have to, it's going to be very, very little money down or out of her pocket. She's going to raise the balance to the capital, and she's going to get an 8-unit building inside of 12 weeks. Anyway, I get excited for you guys, and she happens to be in the Austin area, so that's where the connection comes from. Is it too late? I don't know. What game are you playing? Are you playing I want to buy the broken and fix it up and hold it and wait for it to appreciate? Are you playing all I want is a Q4 quadrant 4 deal? Are you playing hey, you know what? I just need to produce some steady income inside my retirement plan game, or do I need to play tax advantage game? And that'll be, again, part of what we're talking about in the long run, when it comes down to step number 11, for sure on Friday, we'll definitely be talking about that. And we'll talk about it at length on multiple deals as we go through the mastermind group, because you guys are going to bring these questions to me, and I'm going to have to teach you how you hear the correct words to know how to put that on the quadrant so that the deal works together and that you can find marketplaces. That's one of the key pieces that I just don't even have time to cover in the introductory sessions, is how do you identify the right marketplace for the strategy that you believe you want to execute? How do you do that and put that together? Are you kidding me? Do you know that one thing alone? I've tried to do that in person with people, and it takes me 4 hours. 4 hours. It was nuts. I'm just like, oh, it's hard to do one at a time. So doing my best to give you guys the information, and that's why we do it this way. That's why the internet, there can be more of you, one of me, and hopefully more questions and the good stuff comes out. So pay attention, Sandra. I strongly suggest if multifamily is in your future, join us. Greg, I just ordered Cashflow Game. Yay! Can you give a step-by-step to hosting the Cashflow Game? Greg, I cannot believe you said that. I don't know who you are, but I love you already, because it's exactly what we do, Greg. One of the bonus videos you get for being a Cashflow Diary Founders member is right here. You see this? It says Cashflow 101 training. Guess what that is? It's a step-by-step of me doing a Cashflow game so that you have the idea of how to do a Cashflow game, because I want you guys to know how to do it. I appreciate you taking action and ordering it. Now you've got to take the next step and get access to it. That's part of the Founders membership, with this $47 a month. Are you kidding me? That's it? Yep, that's the way it goes. Okay, Susan. Okay, 26 houses on the same street. 26 houses on the same street. Sweet. Fired up already. Seller wants to move on to other things. Treat it as a bundle apartment house or as separate houses. Yeah, there's parts of this that you could treat together. 5.8 million. Where is this? That's Toll Yuba City, north of Sacramento, about 30 miles. Why does that sound like Nordstrom? Girl, what are you looking at? Hold on, let's go do some math, guys. Let's see if we can help her out, because that sounded nuts to me. And for those of you who live in other jurisdictions, you're like, God, I'm glad I don't live there. I know you just said that to yourself. You don't have to tell me. I know you said it. So let's do some math. I'm pulling up the calculator so that you guys can see it as well. So here it comes. All right, so let's look at this, because that sounded out of whack to me. It's 26 houses, 5.8 million. Now, I like the fact that she's thinking about 2 commas. Good stuff. So 5.8 divided by 26 equals $225,000 a house. Okay, first of all we got to do is run a go, no-go decision on this one. So here's a go, no-go decision. We're going to multiply that by 1.5%. And I'm guessing those houses do not rent for $3,346 each. Next. Done. Easy. See how quickly that is? So if you can't generate that kind of revenue, this is going to be a tough sell, because you've got to buy broken and hope that they're broken enough so that there's still some appreciation left. I don't know in Yuba City. First of all, I don't know where that is. But the point is I don't know if Yuba City's marketplace still has room to go up. And if it does, great. How long is that going to be? And is this found, forced, phased? Is this one of the found, forced, or phased appreciation methods, not passive or inflated? And if it's not passive or inflated, if it is passive or inflated, you still need to move on. Those are the questions you should be asking at this moment, not do I treat it as a multifamily or a single family? Because you can treat it as a multifamily, but it's still going to be comped and sold as single family, simply because there's one one improvement on each parcel of land. Unless they're all parceled, unless it's one parcel with 26 houses, which I seriously doubt. But if it is, then yeah, treat it as multifamily, and we've got new equations to deal with. But my guess is it's not that way. So keep that in mind. Do you want the Craigslist ad link? Can you share the calculator app I use? Sure. If you have, I will say this, they haven't updated for the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. It's 10BII is this one, so it's this one right here. So I like this one specifically for this function right here. So you can see that I've got a loan. Let me change that to 0. for fully amortized. So you can see I've got a $403,900 loan. I don't know what I was doing at 5% for 30 years, and it gives me the payment. But this is the part that I love, is where you can do the amortization tables. And I hit the wrong button. So do the amortization tables, and with a couple of clicks, I can get to an actual amortization table and actually email this by hitting the share button and send it, via a message or mail or some other way, and being able to do that on my iPad, no matter where I am. So I can always have this information, and more importantly, share it with someone, so that if I am at Starbucks, guess what? I can do this and send this to them on their, like if we're discussing a quadrant 3 deal, now I've got it right here, and they have the ability to see it as well on their own information and their own devices. And when we go through the mastermind group, we'll talk a lot about some of the tools that I use to communicate and make communication effective as well as efficient. And those are, because those are two different things. So let's see. Why 1.5%? Is that Marius? I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Why 1.5%? You could lower that number, but again, remember, my risk profile, investor identity, is conservative. So the higher that number, the more conservative it is. 1.5% is a number that, for me, I like and I'm comfortable with, because it gives me my debt service coverage ratio of 2. And if you don't know what I mean by that, watch the multifamily webinar from yesterday, so that you have the ability to make all that work. So that's part of the reason why 1.5%. I also want to build in some cushion for operational expenses should things go squirrely and change. After you get experience in a particular marketplace, and more importantly with a particular building or types of buildings, Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom, in a particular place, you can probably lower that number, because at least now you know. 1.5% gives you a place to start, and hopefully you can work it down to be able to get better, so that you can refine according to the exact specifications of where it is that you're working. So those are the types of things that I get excited about. Curtis, you're saying awesome. I don't know what for or what about, but I'm glad you're excited. What do you say? Calculator. Oh, the calculator. Oh, yeah, the calculator rocks. So I've got a number of those things. Anyway, I'm hoping you guys have enjoyed today. Again, one last time, I want to remind you, if you haven't already, because and again, I'm not trying to quote unquote oversell or pressure you or anything of that nature. It's just that I don't get the time to put 12 weeks together or put this type of information together and go through it live with people. That's why we have the video courses. When I do have it, I make it available. I make it accessible. They've all been one time. There hasn't been another time. And I don't know if there's going to be, and that's just the truth. I don't know. Do I want there to be? Yeah, I would love a season 2, like, they do on those reality shows and all that stuff. But I can't say that that's going to happen. Multifamily is something you're interested in. Now is to go. Now you have time. You can go to cashflowdiary.com/multifamily. Click the link. You'll get the book, and you'll be able to watch the replay from yesterday, so that tomorrow at 4 p.m. you will be ready. And that's 4 p.m. Pacific time. You will be ready to move forward. What was really cool is that we had people on there all the way from Australia. So the answer to your question is, will this work in my area? The answer is yes. So long as you have people that live in houses, you're good. All right, keep that in mind. If you have people that live in igloos, then that's probably not going to work. But houses, I'm your man. We can make this happen together, guys. So I look forward to talking to all you guys soon. Until next time.